And this is Saranas.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories.
The Bahamas Trade Mission Chairman shares government's plans to expand trade in Grand Bahama. Abaco Chamber President shares her vision for the chamber. And police in Grand Bahama respond to a video of two men involved in an altercation.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
We're now sort of reinvigorating our desire to push the Freeport Container Port as a transshipment hub for goods.
Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news. As governments worldwide explore strategies to ease economic burdens, the chairman of the Bahamas Trade Mission shares that the government is actively pursuing competition legislation to address the rising cost of living while assuring that Grand Bahama remains a priority with plans for trade expansion, particularly through the Freeport Container Port. The Freeport Container Port, already known for its deep water harbor, is now at the center of the government's strategic plan to establish it as a major hub for global trade. Senator Barry Griffin, chairman of the Bahamas Trade Mission, revealed exciting news with the Ministry for Grand Bahama's vision, highlighting plans to position the proposed hub as a key player in the transportation of African goods across international markets.
As we know, the Freeport Container Port, it's one of the deep harbor ports, one of the largest in the Western Hemisphere, and we've always had ambitions of using that to its greatest capacity. With all of this trade going on, we're now sort of reinvigorating our desire to push the Freeport Container Port as a transshipment hub for goods.
Additionally, Senator Griffin revealed plans to leverage the hub to strengthen relations with African governments.
So you would see the Honorable Ginger Moxie heavily pushing the Freeport Container Port as a transshipment point for African goods coming to the Caribbean and Latin America. And she also has a new plan and initiative to market the Freeport Container Port to bring goods to the United States.
Griffin adds that while the Trump administration plans to impose hefty fees on ship docking at U.S. ports if they are Chinese-built or owned, the Freeport Container Port could capitalize on this shift. As a key transshipment hub, FCP has the potential to provide a major economic boost to Grand Bahama and the Bahamas as a whole.
The reality is China is the largest shipbuilder in the world now. Many of the ships around the world are in fact Chinese built. So this is going to affect a huge amount of ships, not just those coming to the Bahamas, but those that service the world and even service the United States. So this may be a very good opportunity for Grand Bahama to pitch itself for these Chinese built ships to dock in Grand Bahama, offload products, and then goods can then be shipped to the U.S. in smaller ships or other ships built by, the United States.
Meanwhile, recent staff cuts to a vital U.S. weather service are raising concerns about the impact on the wider region, including the Bahamas, where the agency has provided critical forecasting support. With the hurricane season fast approaching, a local Met official weighs in on whether this should be a major concern for the country. Cleopatra Murphy has the story.
The Bahamas Department of Meteorology is more than capable of functioning on its own, despite the Trump administration's budget cuts at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration that has led to the firing of more than 800 staffers and could see 1,000 more let go, according to the Associated Press.
The Met Service could stand alone without anybody in the region. We are scientists, we are meteorologists. We have other tools, we have other mechanisms to use. Yes, their help was great. But if we lose that arm, I don't think it's going to be long, but because we lose that ability so far, that does not mean we can die.
Senior Met Officer at the Bahamas Department of Meteorology, Trinard Tynes' comments come after Acting Director of Meteorology Jeffrey Simmons recently shared that the department is already being impacted by the cuts, as services like heat advisories previously provided by the National Weather Service have been stopped. While the services were a benefit to the Bahamas, Tyne says the entities have more of a symbiotic relationship than the public realizes, especially during hurricane season.
Any storm that comes through in the Atlantic during hurricane season, it comes through the Bahamas before it gets to them. So they have to check our stuff first before they come up with their stuff as well. They send the plane out, yeah, they have the fancy technology, but the Bahamas have the experience. So they use our experience to know how to do what they have to do when any storms come in this way. So it's not just we lose, they lose as well. Because they lose a good collaboration, because every hurricane season, our people is at those meetings. Little do everybody know. We at those meetings, we sit down, we put in names for the storms and everything like that they vote on.
A major concern has been how the department's hurricane forecasting could be impacted because the Bahamas uses data collected by the National Hurricane Center's reconnaissance aircraft that flies directly into the storms. But Tyne says the department will adapt.
We only lose a few things, but they still writing forecasts that we could see, but we won't be getting the other heavier stuff like the hurricane hunting and all that other stuff. But we still have, we have the European model, we have Japan, we have German models, we worldwide. One person decide that they want to leave and play by themselves, that's fine.
As for the Met Office's preparedness for what is predicted to be an average hurricane season with 15 named storms, Tyne says staff are more than ready. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
In Abaco, ZNS News sat down with newly elected Abaco Chamber of Commerce President Chantel Sands to discuss her vision for the chamber, her strategic plans for economic growth, and the key initiatives aimed at tackling pressing challenges facing the island's business community. Chantel Sands, president of the Abaco Chamber of Commerce, is excited to spearhead efforts aimed at advancing the progress of the island of Abaco. A central focus of her leadership is fostering collaboration with entrepreneurs to strengthen relationships while tackling critical issues such as housing and economic security.
We have put out a survey already. You can find it on our website to give us the feedback, what you want the chamber to advocate for you. And in May is our next big initiative where we'll be advertising a professional training day for the business community and their staff, right? And we're pulling in the Tourism Development Center on that day, followed by a job fair.
Stan believes that while much has already been accomplished, there is still significant potential for growth. She emphasizes that expansion is back on track and even more can be achieved moving forward.
The development that has happened, right? However, the business community is still challenged with further expanding, more businesses coming to the island. Why? Because staffing, there's a shortage, and there's a shortage because there's no housing for people to live in. So there's a huge housing issue here on the island that we would like to work with the Ministry of Housing or a public-private, project to see how we can assist in that regard.
Sands points out that investors are drawn to islands with a well-trained workforce, and the goal is to help businesses enhance and upskill their staff.
Enhance the customer service levels and also enhance their operation as they continue to grow on the island. So there's several things that we want to look at, apart from working with the government entities and assisting them to roll out any new regulations.
A video showing a man assaulting another male has gone viral on social media, sparking widespread attention across the Grand Bahama community. The disturbing footage reportedly depicts a man wielding a knife and causing harm to another. In response to the incident, police issued a wanted poster for 27-year-old Joshua Young. Police have now confirmed that Young is in their custody. Shalia Rule has more on the details of the investigation in this report.
A video showing a violent altercation between men at a business establishment in Grand Bahama has gone viral on social media. The footage reportedly captures a young man attacking another with a sharp object while shouting threats of death. The disturbing video has sparked widespread attention and concern within the social media community. One user commenting, "I applaud this young man for not fighting back, as it takes a lot to hold your composure in situations like this." And another, "This is no laughing matter. I don't care. Even if you're scared, you never show it." Police officials issued a wanted poster for 27-year-old Joshua Jamal Young of 8 Mile Rock in connection with this incident. Press liaison officer for the Northern Bahamas, Stephen Roll, confirmed that Young turned himself in to police on Tuesday morning and is now in custody.
As with Joshua Young, he turned himself to police shortly after 8 o'clock this morning, and I can say that he will be spoke to by the officers, and once that is done, he'll be put before the courts sometime this week.
Roll also added that based on the video, a number of charges will be filed and the suspect will be placed before the courts by the end of the week.
On the video that the police receive, there are a number of charges that will be laid against him. I don't want to say much on that now because it's still an investigation.
The press liaison officer for the North leaves this message for those looking to indulge in alcohol on a night out.
It's when particularly our young men go to these nightclubs and they consume alcohol beverages, you tend to have this type of behavior. So we are asking them, if they decide to go out, drink responsible. And if you cannot control your alcohol, we advise you stay at your residence.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shelia Roll.
In news from the crime beat, local police have launched an investigation into a stabbing incident that involved 2 men, ages 44 and 26 years old, requiring medical attention on Monday, March 24th, 2025. Police were alerted of this incident shortly after 7 o'clock p.m. when a man presented himself to the Central Police Station with visible injuries, claiming to have been stabbed by a male known to him at his residence on Gordon Avenue.
Still to come.
Mary Star of the Sea celebrates Agriculture Week. That's story, sports, and more when we return.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Grand Bahama, this is not just another spring fling. It's Dolly Madison's spring sale. Get 25% off store-wide on March 28th and 29th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. It's spring and the perfect time to spruce things up, from bed and bath to even boating supplies. So come on down on March 28th and 29th for the Dolly Madison spring sale with 25% off store-wide. See you there. Dolly Madison.
Celebration Key presents the Lifeguard Swim Test in Freeport. Join the action at the YMCA on March 27th at 9 a.m. Walk-in registrations are welcome. Scan the code to register today and take the first step toward becoming a lifeguard. This Friday and Saturday only, it's a savings event at Do It Center. Get 20% off store-wide, 30% off Valspar paint, and 70% off selected lighting March 28th and 29th. Do It Center, located at number 43 Freeport Industrial Park. This Friday and Saturday only, it's a savings event at Do It Center. Get 20% off store-wide, 30% off Valspar paint, and 70% off selected lighting March 28th and 29th. Do It Center, located at number 43 Freeport Industrial Park. It's a contractor's workshop on March 27th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Susan J. Wallace Center, Columbus Park. The topic is construction site debris management. For registration, contact 350-9166 or email rplacaris@gbpa.com.
It's springtime, and Grand Bahama Tiles is having its biggest spring clearance sale ever. With 20 to 60% off store-wide, there's savings for everybody on everything. They have large stock items on wood look, porcelains, and natural stones. And all clearance stock must go. So, what are you waiting for? Hurry in and catch the spring clearance sale now. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
It's the second annual Turks and Caicos Come Go With Me Musical and Jazz Festival, June 5th through 9th. Book your hotel now at Ports of Call Resort, Turks and Caicos. Daily breakfast included. Short distance from the event. Email now. Reservations at portsofcallresort.com using discount code CONCERT15.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. In celebrating Agriculture Week, Mary Star of the Sea Catholic Academy hosted a public forum where students and visitors were educated about a number of areas in the agriculture field. A panelist of young agriculture professionals shared light on areas such as food sustainability and security, farm-to-table practices, ethical farming, and agriculture education.
We started through junior local government. It was decided that we would lead the program. And we started with donations, namely the soil. Then somebody threw in, Mr. Wright, Robert Wright, threw in the fertilizer, and junior local government had a fundraiser, and we raised the first $100 worth of seeds to start the farming program, but to expand on what the Eco Club was already doing. That led to building more boxes. That led to the clubs all wanted to become involved. And so we had to quickly organize and make sure that we had everything a very organized program. And that's what has brought us here tonight to launch the pilot program.
The panelists included Constantina Hamilton McKenzie from Agriculture Technician Prosperina, Geraldine Kelly, Agricultural Officer from the Ministry of Agriculture, and President and Managing Director of Berkshire Farms, Terrence Roberts III.
Mary Star of the Sea is one of the eco flagship schools here on the island, and as a business, you have to find different ways to get community impact, and we believe in education, community, and the use of technology. So this relationship right now, the plan is to go further, but this is the pilot with Mary Star of the Sea, and so far we're now working on recycling, so repurposing of waste, composting, green spaces, so planting trees, so on and so forth, and they're now about to start incubation program with us with the chickens.
As we aim to achieve food security in the Bahamas, we first have to ensure that our youth are aware of the many careers that agriculture can afford them, and the importance of food in agriculture, not just the agricultural quote-unquote aspect of traditional farming, but agriculture as a system, looking from the policy and programming, regulations, food health, food security, looking at simple food testing to ensure that we're getting high-quality, nutritious foods. That's the key reason why I'm here, to ensure that students are aware of the broad range that food and agriculture can award them.
Ruth Nell Technical Institute remains committed to ensuring school-aged children receive a well-rounded technical education. In the coming months, the school will launch a nationwide recognized program designed to equip young learners with the skills needed to enter the workforce confidently upon completion.
This nationally recognized technical certificate program will introduce residents to a number of different areas, including air conditioning, refrigeration, carpentry, cosmetology, electrical installation, electronics, modern diesel technology, heavy equipment operation, plumbing, welding, hospitality, among others, basically.
For aspiring entrepreneurs, Ruth Nell Technical Institute will introduce specialized courses aimed at providing students with a well-rounded education to support their journey into business ownership.
Each participating student will have to take some related studies in workplace communication and ethics, introduction to industry, measurements and safety in the workplace, and also a component we call introduction to business, because some folks, once they have developed their skills, they may want to form their own businesses.
Finally, in news, family and friends of the late Lucas Wildgoose gathering at the Freeport Bible Church to celebrate his life and legacy. The assembly was bittersweet as attendees reflected on how Lucas truly lived up to his name, a bringer of light that will be sorely missed. Shalia Rule has this story.
It was a gathering to celebrate the life of a shining light. Family and friends of Lucas Wildgoose came together to bid farewell to a young soul who brought love, laughter, and light to all he connected with. Draped in shades of green, his family stood in the front row, hands raised in gratitude, thanking God for blessing them with such a special gift. Allegra School of Music, Kavina Murphy expressing her fondest memories of Lucas.
Because of your time invested in him. Lucas knew he was the center of your universe and that he was loved by all of you. That is why Lucas has so much love to give, because of the love that you poured into him.
The sermon was a moment of self-reflection, with scriptures that deeply resonated with Lucas' character.
Because if the scripture holds fast, if it holds true, what young man read here today, blessed is he that hath a pure heart, they shall see God. And if I ask anyone in here today, if Lucas had a pure heart, come on, how many of us would agree? Come on, somebody.
As the service drew to a close, Lucas's family gathered around his casket, adorned with white and green roses, to say their final goodbyes. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Rule.
Lucas, you will be surely missed. And that does it for our news segment. Jay, what's happening in sports?
Coming up in sports, Yolanda, softball championship, primary school boys. We'll have those highlights coming up in sports.
Awesome. All right, that's coming your way next. But first, a check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
We got all kind of time.
Beautiful.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
It's the second annual Turks and Caicos. Come go with me. Musical and Jazz Festival, June 5th through 9th. Book your airline tickets now with BritishAirways.com, BahamasAir.com, or InterCaribbean.com.
Spring into savings and take advantage of Majestic Retail's Yellow Tag sale. Save up to 20% on smart TVs, tablets, Fire Sticks, mini split AC units, pedestal fans, and so much more. They're located in the bonded area. Call them at 351-3936. A deal is guaranteed at Majestic Retails. The night before, a gripping stage production by S.L. Shepard live at the Regency Theater, March 27th to the 29th at 8 p.m. with a special matinee on March 30th at 5 p.m. Tickets are $30, available at Imagine Graphics, the 17th shop at the Gregory's Fine Foods.
You can lose a lot of money gambling if you're not careful. That's right. Be sure and pay your bills first. Set aside your savings and know exactly how much you can spend and what you could lose. If you win, you win. But if you lose, you lose. Set a budget and stick to it. Please, be safe and only gamble what you can actually afford to lose. This message is brought to you by the Gaming Board for the Bahamas.
It's springtime, and Grand Bahama Tiles is having its biggest spring clearance sale ever. With 20 to 60% off store-wide, there's savings for everybody on everything. They have large stock items on wood look, porcelains, and natural stones. And all clearance stock must go. So, what are you waiting for? Hurry in and catch the spring clearance sale now. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top in Sports Primary School Boys Softball Championship game between Freeport Gospel and Walter Parker Pacers. The game came down to a final inning with a runner on third base, and Freeport Gospel delivered with a base hit right on the field to win the title 7-6 in grand fashion. Pitcher Xavier Thompson was named MVP after striking out 7 batters.
It's exciting. My heart was racing on this one. It was a real tight game, back and forth. Just try to keep the guys settled, keep them composed, keep them being able to know what they know and just do what they know to do, you know, and that was the difficult part. But we made some errors and finally got back together and made it happen.
I can hit the ball. I already know how to hit the ball. And I catch the ball, everything. So I feel like I pitch really good. We get a lot of good hits, and we get a clutch hit at the end of the game.
Still on the mound scores from Week 7 of Little League Baseball, the Lions defeated the Red Sox 13-12 in 8U action. Now in 10U play, MSC Shippers dominated Riviera and Associates Lions 14-1. Moving up to 12U play, the Lions got the W versus the Royals 2-1, and the Lions came back again to beat the Dodgers 7-5. Now in 16U action, the Lions defeated the Yankees 9-8, and the Yankees also won against the Dodgers 5-3. And finally, in sports, the second annual Mario Boleg Best of the Best High School Basketball Tournament is scheduled to begin this Wednesday, March 26th through the 29th, here on Grand Bahama at the St. George's Gymnasium and the 8 Mile Rock High Gymnasium.
In Pool A, Tabernacle Baptist, Westminster out of New Providence, C.C. Sweeting also out of New Providence, Agape Christian Academy out of Abaco, and Gateway Christian Academy out of Bimini. Pool B, C.I. Gibson out of New Providence, the Sunline Baptist Academy, Aaron Bailey out of New Providence, 8 Maroc High, St. George's, and Blazers Elite Academy out of Grand Bahama.
Iron Luck and IL Cares is always willing and ready to assist our nation youth in any positive feat. We are proud to be a part of the best basketball tournament for this year.
Should certainly be some exciting games at both St. George's and 8 Mile Rock Gym. Ladies and gents, that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Problem gambling affects men and women, young and old, across the Bahamas, financially, mentally, and even physically. Family members and friends also deal with the serious consequences of a gambler's addiction. If you or someone you know needs help, reach out. Support is available. Speak to a trained counselor today at 242-425-2360. The Gaming Board for the Bahamas encourages you to gamble responsibly.
Do you want to find relief from common health concerns such as headaches, back pain, chronic inflammation, and more? How about improved sleep, boost energy, and improve overall well-being? Check out RA Balance Bahamas and get your body into balance with biomagnetic therapy. For all our social links, contacts, or to request an appointment, visit rabalancebahamas.com.
And Grand Bahama Tiles is having its biggest spring clearance sale ever. With 20 to 60% off store-wide, there's savings for everybody on everything. They have large stock items on wood look, porcelains, and natural stones. And all clearance stock must go. So, what are you waiting for? Hurry in and catch the spring clearance sale now. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Number 1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that's it for news tonight. On behalf of the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Yolanda Thompson-Everest. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight coming your way next.
This is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, brace for job cuts and construction increases. The daunting possibility of a global trade war is increasing pressure on a local shipping giant. Also, a promise made. Campus officials promise salaries in line with international standards. And under fire, a restaurant owner looks to clear his company's reputation in the face of damning poisonous and death claims. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. A proposed U.S. tariff on Chinese-built vessels raising serious concerns across the region. And here at home, the construction sector, a strong component of the local economy, could be among the hardest hit industries. Tonight, the president of the Bahamian Contractors Association is warning of sharp cost increases and job cuts with a potential impact as severe as the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic. Our Devontae Hanna is on the story. Devontae?
Yeah, well, Makushla, it's a policy being debated thousands of miles away, but no doubt one that can hit workers and consumers here at home. A proposed U.S. tariff of up to $1.5 million per port call on Chinese-built ships is sparking an alarm across the region, with experts warning of a 60% increase in the cost of shipping. Well, tonight we're learning from the president of the Bahamian Contractors Association, Leonard Sands, that this concerning new fee could escalate the cost of construction by up to 25%. And even worse news coming in tonight, that can lead to severe cuts in the construction sector at rates only last seen in some of the country's most dreadful economic times in recent years.
I think we could be looking at a place that we've not seen in the last 5-7 years, post-story and post the COVID-19, where we could start to see job cuts. If this really pans out the way how President Trump is suggesting.
That suggestion is being discussed in a hearing at the United States International Trade Commission. Bahamian Tim Martin, CEO of Tropical Shipping, is also testifying, warning stakeholders of the potential impact it could have for consumers in the region. And in a country heavily reliant on imports, it means items like plywood, cement, steel, and even tiles can all be impacted.
It's safe to say across the board we can expect the cost of construction materials, if they are on ships that were made in China, will have automatically off the top a 25% increase across the board.
The proposed tariffs could be implemented by early April. San says not much can be done to prepare. Consumers then should brace for impact.
The end consumer is going to expect to receive a 25% increase in cost, which, again, like stated before, is going to make it much more difficult to build houses, improve buildings, and generally make the cost of doing construction more expensive.
Well, Makushla, we know that the USTR will hold another closed meeting throughout the week in Washington, D.C., but we're here in the Caribbean, and we understand that Caribbean stakeholders are making the case on why the region should be carved out. Of course, this follows the warnings from SuperValu founder Rupert Roberts that inflation can increase by 25%. And keeping this in mind, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis last week pledged to adjust policies to ensure Bahamians are able to adjust easily. He told reporters the main focus is to ensure a diversification of trade, ultimately eliminating the country's dependency on one single economic power. Makushla.
Well, thanks, Devontae. Not only here, the media, all of us are watching this developing story. Well, meantime, as anxieties build amid an escalating global trade war sparked by U.S. President Donald Trump, a prominent Bahamian legal scholar and outgoing president of the Commonwealth Lawyers Association, attorney Peter Maynard, KC, is encouraging Bahamians to broaden their outlook. He says the changing global climate indicates the need for Bahamas and the wider Caribbean to focus on their own strengths and decrease an historic dependency on one hegemonic power.
We still have a way to go. The biggest room in any place is the room for improvement. I think compared to many other countries, we're not doing badly, and that's A testimony to that is the World Justice Project, for example, which does these surveys on things like governance and corruption and so on. However, there's still more that we can do, and I hope that more of us can come together in organizations such as this one.
Now, the Commonwealth Lawyers Association is comprised of attorneys all across the realm. Mr. Maynard became the first member from the Caribbean to be elected president of this body since the mid-1980s. He's had a stellar legal career focusing on asset tracing, alternative dispute resolution, as well as teaching. As the Bahamas aims to make itself more competitive globally, he is pushing the idea that more needs to be done to promote entrepreneurship.
But by and large, I think the Bahamas is what's needed is perhaps a greater spirit of entrepreneurship, Bahamians stepping forward and owning businesses, running businesses. I think we need to see more of that being financed to do more business-related stuff. And I think the banking institutions tend to do the low-risk loans and not the more risky loans, which are needed, such as new businesses.
Well, still talking businesses, have you ever purchased an item from a store, looked at your receipt, saw that VAT was charged, but wondered if this business really makes over $100,000 a year and should be charging VAT? Well, those businesses should beware. And if you're making that kind of money and you're not registered with the Department of Inland Revenue, now is the time. A special two-day symposium is taking place, catering to all things business. Felicity Darville has the story.
There are so many questions surrounding starting a business, expanding a business, maybe even reviving a business. Well, on this rare occasion, you've got a one-stop shop right here at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium.
We want you to stop smoking. We want to remind persons that just because you have a pretty flyer and you put it on the car, or you may have a social media page, it does not mean that you are a business. You must have a business license in order to operate a business in the Bahamas.
Now, for those businesses charging VAT when they're not VAT registered, it's time to cease and desist.
The EIR is responsible for all legal businesses and entities in the Bahamas, right? It's our job because we cannot police everybody. If you know someone that's charging VAT and is not VAT registered, give us a shout, 225-7280, or send us an email, taxinquiries@bahamas.gov.bs. We will send our team out to deal with those persons. But if you are making over $100,000, we implore you, register for VAT. It is an easy process. We can help you with it. We can walk you through it. And it's something that you must do in accordance with the law.
On Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., if you have any questions about your business or you're seeking funding to take your business to the next level, visit the Inland Revenue Financial Symposium. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Meantime, the owner of a popular eatery is refuting damning claims against his West Bay establishment. As Fern Carey tells us, the matter has been turned over to the police in an effort to flush out the person or persons behind the allegations.
The owner of Bahama Grill, Eric Gibson, condemning claims in a social media post indicating that someone died from eating food from his establishment and that other people also died after eating food from the West Bay Street restaurant. And he is describing the attack against his business as a heinous, unconscionable act.
What I've known for operating for the last 15 plus years is that if there's an incident of anything, the very first thing happens is I get a call to say XYZ is the case. In this instance, I got no call. I got no inquiries. I got nothing to say that anything was different.
Gibson confirmed that he released a statement yesterday denying receiving any reports or complaints of illness or fatalities relating to food from Bahama Grill. He also explained why the beef ribs featured in an online video did not come from Bahama Grill.
The video showed what they said was a beef rib that that came from Bahama Grill, that had some crawling, I would assume they refer to it as maggots. Again, we can look at it and immediately dismiss it because we haven't served beef ribs for over 4 years. You know, right after the pandemic, 2021, there was a shortage of beef ribs. The prices escalated beyond what I can sell it for reasonably on the menu, so we discontinued carrying it.
Now, the matter has been turned over to the police and a $5,000 reward offered in an effort to flush out the perpetrators. At the same time, Gibson has this assurance for his customers.
We are staying true to our mantra, which is we want to provide the best food in the cleanest environment at the best prices with the best customer service second to none.
The Ministry of Health also released a statement last week indicating that they heard about the reports relating to Bahama Grill and were going to investigate. However, Mr. Gibson says that no one from the Ministry of Health has contacted him at this time. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Well, thanks, Fern. Coming up, new housing developments on the way. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Crunch your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large sides. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Burying a loved one is never easy and can be a costly thing to do. NIB's funeral benefit can provide much-needed assistance during this difficult time. This one-time payment is made to the individual who paid for the funeral, or payment can be made to the funeral home in lieu of payment to an individual. To claim the funeral benefit, complete all fields of Form B51, Claim for Funeral Benefit. Provide banking details indicating where you would like your payments to be sent. A wire transfer form and a government-issued ID are required for persons residing outside the Bahamas. Ensure that your bank's branch transit number and bank account number are provided, not your debit card number. On islands where there are no banks, checks may be collected at the nearest NIB office. Lastly, the claimant must declare that all information is true. The beneficiary must be designated, and the form must be signed. The funeral benefit form is accompanied by a certified death certificate of the deceased, evidence of payment of funeral expenses, and the marriage certificate if the claim is being made on the strength of a spouse's contribution. The form should be submitted within 6 months after death of the deceased. For more information, visit the NIB website at nib-bahamas.com.
Of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Well, you're looking at a shot of historic Fort Charlotte, said to be the largest of the 3 forts found in Nassau. Welcome back. The Creative and Performing Arts School, scheduled to open in Nassau this September, got a huge boost Monday following news of its partnership with California-based United Talent Agency. CAPA's project leader, Ian Poitier, says the tertiary institution staff will include Bahamians with industry-based remuneration.
I just wanted to say something about the sort of remuneration package we'll be offering. This ties into a broader question around finance. With so many people coming and going and so many people at different levels and different levels of experience, I want to make sure Bahamians aren't left behind. So apart from the training and skills development, it's very important that remuneration sits at a level which works here but also internationally. So we're going to be referencing Bahamian staffing packages, but also international staffing packages, as well as industry staffing packages. We don't want to kind of be so far out of, industry norms, that we become a kind of crazy outlier. This has got to be a great place to work, and it's got to be a place that people want to come to and people want to stay at and develop the institution.
The Ministry of Education, a major partner in this government-led initiative designed to boost the local orange economy. Education Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, says there aren't enough art and performing arts teachers in high schools locally, so her ministry reached out to a renowned dance agency.
We entered an agreement with the Shirley Hall Bass Foundation, which is now training teachers so that we can begin offerings in dance and drama, etc., and to do it in a skilled way. So teachers are being trained in this regard, and we would want to work with CAPAS to develop the skill set of teachers even more. So we envision that the creative arts is important as a general norm, but for those students who are particularly interested in this as a career, that it will feed into CAPAS as a tertiary institution.
Well, more homes are on the horizon in country. This as Minister of Housing and Urban Development, the Honourable Keith Bell, announced plans to roll out several new projects across the capital. Speaking on the sideline of last week's key presentation ceremony for 10 families in Salind and Pinley Estates, Minister Bell says it's all part of the Davis administration's national strategy to expand access to affordable housing.
We have already gotten the approval of Cabinet to develop a Dastra Garden subdivision. We're about to clear the land very shortly, and that's a subdivision for 160 homes.
Yes.
We have done Renaissance, and that is a 300 minutes fully built out. It's going to be 300 homes. We're moving on to Pinecrest 2. And even though we are doing 40 homes in there, we have another 30 acres that we can develop. And that's just here in New Providence.
The minister says construction's to begin in the coming months. He also noted that several areas have been identified for the construction of homes, some of which he claims have been overlooked by successive governments.
You're going to travel with us to see Ocean Hole Estates, where those persons in the affordable homes can actually have panoramic views of the ocean. You're going to go down to San Salvador and see the rent-to-own program that the homes are, the roofs are on. And in the next 3-4 months, those homes are going to be completed down there. And we're going to take you to Mangrove Bush down in Andrews too. We're going to take you across this archipelago and demonstrate to you. And Grand Bahama, we're going to take you into ghetto garden villas, where no government before this Davis administration has been able to do nothing with this area called the ghetto. We've already acquired a number of properties. We're about to demolish a number of buildings, and we're ready to start building.
Well, if there's anything good to come out of those recent wildfires in New Providence, Eleuthera, and Grand Bahama, it's that officials from the Disaster Risk Management Authority have been moved to ramp up their public education campaign. The plan's to really tighten collaboration with relevant stakeholders to ensure public safety.
The DRM's role is to support before matters become a disaster zone. We provide the support to the key stakeholders, and in this instance, it is the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and we're working to support them collaboratively through public awareness campaigns. Our team has just recently launched some guidance on how you can personally manage and mitigate the effects of wildfire hazards. But this is a norm.
The peak fire season here in the Bahamas, typically 12 weeks, beginning mid-February. Officials say there were 201 fire alerts between March 24th, 2024 and March 23rd, 2025.
As you can see, the weather patterns have changed significantly, almost to the point where some days it's windy and cold, and then in our time it's hot. And so these are the signs for us to be prepared as a country, to take the necessary steps. Planning, preparedness does not remain in the remit of the Disaster Risk Management Authorities, and all of us have a responsibility as a small island development state that is affected by climate change to ensure that we take personal responsibility and accountability for disaster management. And so I invite you to check out our resources online, social media, stay tuned and share whatever good information that you can to assist in the management of these natural hazards.
You'll stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this
bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest agribusiness expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger with a flavor so secret it's almost too delicious to handle? Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
What's beautiful about Harbor Island is in 2019, a group of community leaders came together and they said, one of the challenges was human resources. And we said we wanted to be able to fill that gap and address that need. And so since 2019, you will see that we launched the Harbor Island Trade School and we've run 10 cohorts in Harbor Island. We've been able to train 225 students to date with an investment from the Harbor Island community of $620,000.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
Exuma has really outpaced the rest of the country in terms of its strong economic performance, which has been on a steady increase. The island seeing strong visitor arrivals, an increase in construction, room rentals, and the list goes on. But in tonight's Business Beat, Corval Python reports that stakeholders aren't resting on their laurels and are determined to keep Exuma's good fortunes coming.
There's no denying it. Exuma is in the midst of an economic upswing. The Emerald Isle is riding high and its future success seems almost a given. Almost. Even by more cautious projections, Exuma's economic future appears bright. Businesses are booming, air travel here climbing, infrastructure across the island being upgraded, and opportunities being created in a surplus. But there's still one essential thing still missing: people. Exuma desperately needs more residents. And according to Exuma Chamber of Commerce Chief Aaron Hanna, they'll need places to live too.
A lot of residents here have benefited tremendously from short-term rentals. And so there's been a shift from people renting long-term and now moving into short-term, which is understandable because there's, it's a little bit more lucrative business. But I think long-term housing is going to be needed in order for the island to grow.
Hanna is an optimist about Exuma's future, but he's also pragmatic about what the island needs in order to grow. He credits events like the recent Music and Heritage Festival and the upcoming Family Island Regatta as huge boosts for the island's economy.
Every flight was booked out. You couldn't find a flight to come to Exuma because the Heritage Festival is where it's at this weekend.
The island's MP, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, spoke to ZNS News about Exuma's economy at the recent Music and Heritage Festival, where he sounded determined to keep this momentum going.
We
we're blessed in Exuma. We've had great fortune to have a good economy, a strong tourism product, and certainly this is an opportunity to showcase who we are, to display much of the musicians from across the country and its great energy.
And so the challenge for the island stakeholders now is building on this magic and ensuring these good fortunes don't change. On the business beat, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Well, great story, Corval. LaDonna and Marlena join us live for a sneak peek of Access Now. Ladies, what's coming up?
Well, Christmas students are in Exuma. We're learning more than just music. Recently, they've been whipping it up in the kitchen, and I want to ask Marlena, what do you think they were cooking?
I wasn't sure. Maybe conch fritters? Conch fritters or, I don't know, conch chow. Probably something with conch in it. I'm not sure. You have any guesses?
I am totally clueless. Totally clueless.
Well, find out coming up in Access Now.
That's my guess.
That's the best way to put it. Stay with us. The National Report is back after the break.
Diet-friendly special.
What is this? Oh, ghost pepper burger. Chicken. I always at Popeyes, so me just come and taste their chicken. Wow. Nice. Crunchy. This is off the chisholm.
Wow, that is way better than I expected. Very spicy, extremely spicy actually. The bread is very soft. The chicken is juicy. Yeah, that's spicy food.
Get ready for the biggest night in Bahamian entertainment. The 6th Annual Elevation Awards is back. Bigger, bolder, and unforgettable. Join your host, Sawyer Boy, April 5th at 6 p.m. at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium for an electrifying night of live performances from Nishi LS, Iron Store, Johnny Cake, Wendy 242, Iman, Jay Shepard, and more. Tickets just $100. Get yours now at theelevationawards.com. That's the 6th Annual Elevation Awards, live on ZS TV 13, April 5th at 6 p.m. Elevate the culture. Celebrate the stars.
It's the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.